Okay, so entering mission 16, we're going to play as Dante, and I think from this point on, all the way up till like mission 20, so from 16 to 19, all four missions we are going to play as Dante, and I think all four of them are quite challenging to each their own. Now, this is actually the, I guess, second round of recordings that I'm trying to do for this mission. Originally, I tried to, well, do this casually, like the past couple of missions. All things considered, I just decided to, well, re-record this mission, and we'll see if I can do a better job this time around. But anyways, let's pop right in and start the mission, and I will just start explaining what I would like to talk about. Okay, let's start. Now, while there are different tips and strategies for each individual fight, in general, the overall strategy for this mission is actually to make good use of your Sin Devil trigger. Now, why do I say that? Is because, as you may remember, this mission has a lot of like free white orbs just spread across the entire level. So as you can see, up right there is one, and I think jumping down here, oh there we go, that's the second one. Now I think there were more on Sons of Sparta and Devil Hunter modes, but for DMD that is all you will get before the first fight. So you will have to, I think we're lacking like 3 bars. We'll need 3 more DT bars to fill up the Sin Devil trigger gauge. So we'll just have to make do and earn the remaining bars in the actual fight. Now, coming up in this first fight, once you step further in and go towards the exit, we'll trigger the first fight, which is against like 2 nobodies and 1 Lusatia, the one that casts lightning and stuff. Anyways, in this mission, as I figured out in my previous runs, the safest and I guess like the quote-unquote best method to handle enemies is actually to just use heavy attacks to stun them outright, well, as they're spawning, and just earn enough DT to pop your Sin Devil trigger and then just destroy them with demolition. The reason why we can do this, and the fact that we couldn't in previous missions, well, for one, there wasn't much, if any, white orbs laying around in previous levels, so you wouldn't really want to waste your Sin Devil trigger against normal enemies. And secondly, specifically in mission 10 and 12, if you remember, there was kind of a problem with a hidden penalty score, like against your mission score, how much style rank, style points you could get. So if you just pop your heavy hitting attacks right from the start without getting to a style rank high, you wouldn't really, well, you might, but you will have a difficult time earning enough style ranks and points to get your mission ranking. But anyways, in this mission that wouldn't be a problem, so that is why we can do what I'm about to do. As you can see, we're just going to pop lasers and round trips and just erase enemies outright. And there we go. As you can see, the Lusatia is already dead, and the nobody is stuck. Excellent. Now you could just pop your Sin Devil trigger right now. I would just like to play around a little bit first. Oh, and the second one also spawned, so let's demolition them out of existence and be done with our first fight. There we go. Now I popped my Sin Devil trigger in triple S, so that was a use of quadruple S in a way, which basically prolonged my total length in Sin Devil trigger. But even if you didn't do that, even if you just pop your SDT normally without triple S, you would still have enough time to do 2 demolitions, so that wouldn't be a problem. Anyways, let's continue jumping down and, well, collect this white top. There we go. And we got our STT gauge back. Excellent. Now, popping into this second fight, I think we'll be fighting against like 2 Chaos and 2 Green Impulsors, something like that. And then after like a couple of seconds, some more Green Impulsors and 1 more Chaos will spawn. Once again, we are going to use the same mindset, pretty much, the same strategy. Once the fight is triggered, we're going to right away pop a laser. Just do some damage and stun everything. Outright. And as you can see, they are all gathered in one spot, which means we can do that. We can just use one neat DT Stinger to basically erase all of them. And just not let them do any spin attacks by breaking their spines outright. They're little like spikes. Oh. And I think in a second, I think the last Chaos will spawn. Hold on. Oh, there he is. Let's see if I can. There we go. Get him down, and there we go. DT Sting. Excellent. Alright. And I think a good old impact should do the job. There we go. Alright. Going great so far. Right. Now, popping into here, there is actually, well, there is kind of a crossroad. You could either choose to go down, which will fight like 2 Baphomets, like those ice casters, and 1 Behemoth. And if you instead choose to jump over this like cliff and go over there, you'll instead be fighting 1 Behemoth and 1 Queen Impulsor. Now, in a normal situation, fighting 2 Baphomets is easier than fighting a Queen, in my opinion, so in normal situations, I would recommend that you go down and fight the 3 enemies. However, in this scenario, we are just going to be using STT to erase enemies outright. And as I've mentioned before, popping STT normally, you could only do 2 demolitions. And since demolition just outright ignores enemy armor and has enough damage to kill basically any grunt enemies, I recommend that you jump over here and fight the 2 big boys instead of the 2 little guys plus 1 big boy down there. So we'll be choosing this way. Anyways, once again, throughout the path there will be white orbs lying around everywhere. Oh, and we're already full. As you can see, there are still like 2 more over there, but it's a waste at this point. We don't really need it. Anyways, jump straight down. Trigger the fight. Once again, pop the laser. It doesn't really matter. Might as well. There we go. And then pop your Sin Devil trigger. Jump up, just in case. There we go, that's 1. And that is 2. There we go. Nice and easy. Excellent. Once again, just charge your STT right away. There will be plenty of orbs down there to, well, fill it back. There we go. Easy. And 1 more. Oh. There we go. Well, there we go. Alright, now jumping down there, we will be triggering our 4th fight, which will consist of, like, I think 1 Judecker, and then 1 Berserker, and just a normal Hellkite. So in this fight, instead of using our SCT, I would recommend that you ready your percussion. There we go. Make sure to stun all 3 enemies. Oh. There we go. Stun off the enemies. And hopefully, oh, not yet, not yet. And that's well. Just as a principle, I would like to take care of him first, if I can. Don't die anytime soon, Mr. Judeka. Come on. There we go. Fine. And then we'll just do that and stun both of them. And that should finish this guy off, and yep. And the rest is just easy peasy. Might as well finish it with Dance Macabre because it is cool. Like that. Right. Going good so far. Alright. Now, jumping down, there will be a fight against 3 Death Scissors and 1 Fury. Once again, I like to do the double percussion trick. You just straight up stun the Fury and then just real impact. Let's see if I can pull it off. I should do it. And there we go. Excellent. And then just, well, might as well pop our STT and then just, well, do some random attacks. These scissors are not that tough. They should die in a second. Let's see. Can I finish them off with Judgment? Maybe not, actually. They have a little bit more health than I expected. Well, at least I killed 1, I think. Alright. And just do it. Just use the bite. There we go. As you can see, the bite just breaks the shield, the guard, upright. So don't even have to worry about parrying. None of that nonsense. Even though, well, to be frank, it's not that hard to parry these scissors. Especially with King Cerberus. But oh well. Why parry when you can just brute force away? No point. Anyways, well, that was that for all the grunt fights. All that is left is the boss fight.
Onward and downward.
Alright.
Better get to it.
Ooh. Hold on. Collect our last white orbs. There we go. And that is the last one. Alright. We have reached the point, the drop-off point against King Cerberus. Okay, before we actually drop down and fight King Cerberus, I would like to just talk a bit about it first. Try to sum up the playstyle that I'm going to take in the coming fight, and sort of explain a bit about my reasoning behind it. Now, I believe most people would agree that King Cerberus is by no means an easy boss fight. He has lots of health and has 3 different elements, 3 different phases, with lots of different attacks of all ranges, and it's just pretty aggressive overall. So there's both a lot of things to remember and a lot of things to deal with. Now, of course, most people's first idea, their approach is usually to just dash around to evade the attacks, and a lot of people will just run around endlessly. Now, in my case, from my experience, instead of running away, I actually believe that sticking close to King Cerberus is instead the simpler and, in fact, the easier way to handle him. Especially against, the Ice Phase. If you run from Ice Phase, King Cerberus, he'll just, call ice shots from the ceiling endlessly, and you'll just be running around without a proper timing to, hit him back. And that's just a huge waste of time, and you're not gaining any style, rank, or DT neither. So overall, that's just bad times if you run away. Instead, if you stay close to it, what I've figured out is that if you stay really close, like in melee distance, he actually won't really call down the shots, and will instead just do the 1-2 melee like swipe, the horizontal claw swipes. Now that's just one example, but overall, I just think that even against Fire Phase and the Lightning Phase, I think staying close is instead the more straightforward and easy way to handle him. Now, of course, if you want to stay safe up close, you will have to use Royal Guard. Now, this boss fight may be one of the only fights in this game that I would recommend that you actually use Royal Guard as your main style. Now, of course, I'm not asking you to, well, practice for hours, getting every timing perfectly. All you have to do, actually, is just stand in front of King Cerberus and just use jump guarding. Now, the concept of jump guarding is that you can basically connect the iframes from a jump into the iframes of a Royal Guard, which means that the timing for guarding each attack perfectly is much more generous than just standing and guarding with just the Royal Guard button. In this case specifically, King Cerberus' melee attacks are paced just right so that you can do jump guarding almost at every swing, and even slot in a few gunshots in between. However, it is not long enough to do extended melee combos, which is also the reason why I highly recommend you to just stand there and do jump guarding for most of the close range encounters. But of course, there are also other things that you can do to make things easier. In particular, against the blast wave that he does every time he switches elements, I would highly recommend using King Cerberus the weapon, in particular Ice Age. This attack, of course, as I've mentioned many times over in, well, other occasions, is an excellent source of iframes and just overall protection. So if you do this every time King Cerberus does his blast wave, you will stay relatively safe, and you can connect that into a Royal Guard anytime. Okay, I've switched out the weapon loadout a little bit. In this fight, I will only keep King Cerberus, the weapon, and Devil's Sword Dante for the summon swords. And for the guns, I'll keep the pistol to deal with the those floating lightning bolts that the lightning phase will spawn, and Kalina N for some good damage. In particular, when King Cerberus is like stunned and falls to the ground, I can do this. This like, I don't even remember what name this is, like some kind of like rocket fireworks or something. It works surprisingly well against King Cerberus. I would assume it is because he has like 3 heads, so he take like triple damage against area attacks. But now, because as I've mentioned before, the King Cerberus fight is pretty intense and there are lots of things going on very quickly. So what is probably going to happen is that I will focus on fighting the boss, and I may not have much to say during it. Hopefully, in the previous few minutes, I've already explained enough to make you understand just the general approach that I'm going to take in this fight, and hopefully I can just show you by action of what I mean. And, well, let's just hope everything works out. Let's get right to it. So, yeah, I may go quiet during the boss fight when I'm trying to focus. So, just trying to warn you beforehand. Anyways, in this first fire phase, we'll start jump guarding right away, of course. As you can see, jump guarding thing is pretty easy. You really don't need a lot of practice, I think. As you can see.
You're a bit tougher than the rest of you.
And even if you miss timing, as you can see, the most that you will lose is some DT. So, There we go. Oh, and he's down. Which means... Check this out. Look at that damage. Wow. Like, this attack is usually not that great against, like, pretty much any other occasion. This attack is really not that great. But against King Cerberus, it's surprisingly effective. Anyways, Blast Wave, so... Ice Age. Oh, and I've been pushed out. So he will do one Ice Shot drop. Oh, and he's stunned, apparently. Yep, and as you can see, if I just stay close, we'll just be doing that. Oh, and he's down again, which means... There we go. As you can see, really good damage. Surprisingly good damage, really. Oh, and Blast Wave. Ice Age. There we go. And jump down. Oh. There we go. Oh. Jump guard. Jump guard. Oh. Release. Oh, hey, and he's down again. And some good old rocket fireworks. Man, look at that damage. Wow. This is working really well. And Blast Wave. Ice Age. And just try to stay up close. Oh. There we go. Just use the summon swords to get rid of those. That should be fine. Oh. And Ice Age. There we go. Oh, as you can see, if I'm able to stay up close, he'll just do the claw. So, oh, and he'll do that too. At which point you will have to leave, unfortunately. If you stay there, you will get spiked really hard. So. Anyways, once it's done with that, get back in. Get back in immediately. Stop him from like endlessly dropping spikes on you. Oh, hey, is he down again? Oh, no, not yet. The fire head is still on. And Ice Age. There we go. And jump guard. Oh, that's not good. Oh. Let's see if I can get the fire head stunned as well. There we go. And he's down. Oh. I think he's up already. Wow, that's quick. Oh, and he has entered DT. Which means, well, he'll get even tougher, which is not good. Oh, pistol out. We have those. There we go. There we go. Oh, and he's trying to do the laser. As you can see, I really think that like staying up close is the easier way to handle it. And it has been working very well as of yet. Oh. There we go. Oh, and he's trying to do the AoE, so get back.
Seen these moves before.
Ooh.
You haven't shot out any puppies, have you?
Oh, what's he doing? Oh, I see. Anyways, Ice Age. There we go. And jump guard. Oh. There we go. That works too. Oh. Oh. I think that didn't hit the head. That damage is like trivial. There we go. Just keep pressing that jump and the guard button. Oh, he's trying to come back in. Oh, never mind. Might as well get in myself. Oh. Man, he's getting really tough after like Devil Trigger pop. Oh. Oh. Ow. Oh well. That was the wrong time. That's okay. We can still get through, I believe. Oh, actually, at this point, I might as well just use Sea Devil Trigger. That's okay. I'll just be popping that, and Demolition twice should do the job. That is one. And done. Ah. Well, that went pretty well, all things considered. Not perfect, but that absolutely did the job. And as you can see, no continues, 9,000 points. Mission 16 S rank. Done.